In our third and fourth lessons for Construction Spanish, we're going to go over common questions you can ask and different phrases and vocabulary that you'll hear on the job at a construction site. So common questions that you'll hear: what is qué, which is cuál, when is cuándo, why is por qué, who is quién, how is cómo, how many is cuántos, where is donde. And kind of like how we saw in the last lesson, donde está, where is something, if you just said where very quickly, you can also just say donde. Next, how do you say this in Spanish is como se dice en español. So say if you point at something, you can say como se dice en español. How do you say this in Spanish? Next, a common phrase, do you speak English? Habla inglés. So remember in Spanish, if there's a word that begins with an H, you do not pronounce that particular letter. So instead of habla, you do not pronounce the H and just start at the A. Habla inglés. Next, if somebody needs help, you need help, or you need to tell someone else to help another person. To start off, you can say help me is ayúdame. So you can kind of remember that me belongs to me, ayúdame. To help that person, say another person you're pointing to, ayúdalo, to help another particular person. And also to say help them, like help a lot of people, it just changes from lo to los. Ayúdalos. Next, common vocabulary that you'll hear in a construction site. A hard hat is a casco. A mask is a máscara. Goggles are anteojos. And remember, J's in Spanish sound like H in English. Earplugs are tapones. Boots are botas. Gloves are guantes. Tools are herramientas. And remember, anytime there's an H, you do not pronounce it if it's at the beginning of a Spanish word. And also, really long words like that, remember, if you take them piece by piece or syllable by syllable and then say them out loud, everything will be completely understandable. Lastly, a toolbox is a caja de herramientas. Next, we're going to go over job safety and the calendar. So, in order to say call 911, you would say llame and then the numbers 911. To say we need help is necesitamos ayuda. To say go to the doctor, maybe somebody comes to a construction site sick, you could tell them vaya al doctor. And lastly, the calendar, or days of the week. We'll go over Monday is lunes, Tuesday is martes, Wednesday is miércoles, Thursday is jueves, Friday is viernes, Saturday is sábado, Sunday is domingo, yesterday is ayer, today is hoy, so remember you don't pronounce the H's, and tomorrow is mañana. Anytime you see an N with an ñ or a squiggle sign over it, you pronounce it like a Y. Mañana. And lastly, to say maybe last year or next year, to say last year is el año pasado, last month is el mes pasado, last week is la semana pasada. And notice that if a word ends in an A, the adjective that describes it is also ends in an A. So kind of like with this, año pasado, those two match, semana pasada match, but sometimes there's words that are irregular, like mes, that don't necessarily match, but they need to end in an O. And last day, which is basically yesterday, is just ayer. To say next year is el próximo año, next month is el próximo mes, next week is la próxima semana, and notice how they're a little bit switched between last week and next week. To say next week, it's la próxima semana, but last week is la semana pasada. In terms of that, that is just kind of something that's like a colloquial thing in Spanish that you just kind of have to get used to little things that are really specific to Spanish. To say next day or basically tomorrow, you just say mañana. So that ends lesson 3 and lesson 4. Definitely, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to see something else in these lessons, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll make another lesson for you guys. So, we'll see you again on lessons 5 and 6.